Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. It's Friday, September 12th, and I have once again failed to be Grant Olson. I'm Jefferson Robbins, filling in for Grant on this fine evening. There's a lot going on as we close out the week. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. AI is coming to your local government services, like it or not, and the city of Wenatchee is crafting a policy for how to handle it. Manson's Community Library reopens next week with a fresh new look, thanks to an ongoing program to reimagine library spaces throughout north central Washington. The wildfire smoke aside, it was pretty nice outside today. Highs in the 70s and 80s are forthcoming. In other words, it's mid-September in NCW. Dan Kuntz.
Good Friday evening, September 12th. It's the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Jefferson Robbins.
We'll guide you through this weekend's forecast since Grant decided to take a break and enjoy some Friday sunshine. But first, our top story tonight. It could have been a tragedy, but police say a quick-thinking semi-driver averted disaster on Thursday when his vehicle lost its brakes heading downhill on Grant Road. It happened close to 1 p.m. during heavy traffic. East Wenatchee Police Sergeant Ben Falconer told NCWLIFE the semi was hauling a load of harvested pears heading west on Grant when the brakes failed. He maneuvered through the intersections at Valley Mall Parkway and Highway 28, then intentionally rolled the vehicle on the bypass at the foot of Grant Road outside Fred Meyer. No other vehicles were struck, but the driver, described as a 21-year-old male from East Wenatchee, had to be extricated and treated at Confluence Health Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Falconer declined to identify the driver while the crash is being investigated, but he has not been cited for any wrongdoing. And Falconer said, quote, "He did his best to avoid any collisions and avoid hurting any other people." The southbound bypass of Highway 28 was down to one lane for about 4 hours after the crash, while crews worked to remove the vehicle and clean up the pears that were spilled across the highway. The Lower Sugarloaf Fire burning between the Chumstick and Entiat Valleys picked up some energy on Thursday, growing to just over 15,000 acres. The lightning-caused wildfire has caused Level 1 and 2 evacuation notices for communities on both sides of the Entiat Mountains and is the subject of a Chelan County emergency declaration. Fire managers say yesterday's growth was strongest in the Moe Ridge and Roaring Canyon areas near a corridor where Bonneville Power electric lines cross the backcountry. Crews carried out controlled burns in the Chumstick Creek area and elsewhere, and they continued to construct lines around the fire's perimeter. More than 900 personnel are now involved in the firefighting effort. The Wenatchee City Council unanimously adopted a new policy Thursday night concerning the use of artificial intelligence in city offices. The first-of-its-kind policy calls on city employees to double-check for errors when using AI for their projects, be transparent about its use, and never upload confidential data into an AI model. As AI is adopted more and more in the public sector, the city's Information Technology Director, Elizabeth Rossiter, told the council it needs to be used responsibly.
We also want to make sure that staff are acknowledging when they create something in AI, they have created a public record in AI, and that those have to be disclosed and retained appropriately and managed effectively. We also want to caution staff that AI output is generally outdated. Most models are about a year behind when it comes to current data, and it is very inaccurate. So we don't want staff blindly trusting something that they have pulled out of an AI model or an AI model. We really want to make sure that they fact-checked it for accuracy, that they have done other research in addition to it, but to also, we recognize that it can really increase workflows, improve them, it can foster creativity, and it's a very important tool for municipalities. I anticipate that this is a policy that we will update frequently as AI becomes more used in the organization and as these models continue to change and adapt. We'll have a lot to learn along the way in the next few years.
Yet another phone scam impersonating a real-life police officer is targeting victims in the Wenatchee Valley. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says several residents have reported receiving calls from someone fraudulently claiming to be employees of the sheriff's office, specifically impersonating Chief Ryan Moody. The calls typically claim that the victim has failed to appear for jury duty and now must make a payment to avoid a warrant for their arrest. The sheriff's office says that's not an approved or legal practice. If you receive one of these calls, contact the sheriff's office to verify the claim. Well, when we come back, a Washington senator has stern words for the Department of Energy over a potential slowdown in cleanup plans at the Hanford nuclear site. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The Manson Public Library is getting ready to show off its new look. The library is the latest of the NCW Library's locations to be renovated as part of the system-wide Reimagining Spaces project. The library's refresh was guided by feedback from more than 300 residents and includes new shelving, seating, study pods, fresh paint, and an updated children's area. NCW Libraries allocated about $184,000 for the renovation. An additional $24,000 came from grants and donations by the Manson Community Library Board. The library will reopen on Tuesday, and it plans to host a grand reopening celebration in October. The Trump administration has fired the Department of Energy official in charge of cleanup at the Hanford nuclear site and told Congress it will delay the startup of a $30 billion vitrification plant designed to render radioactive waste safe for storage. Roger Jarrell, who headed DOE's Office of Environmental Management, was terminated from his post on Monday, and Energy Secretary Chris Wright told Washington senators he would delay the opening of the plant that turns nuclear waste into glass for disposal, which was scheduled to go live October 15th. Hanford stores about 56 million gallons of waste in underground tanks that have leaked into the Columbia River. Senator Maria Cantwell said the 2-decade project to build the waste treatment plant should not be stalled any longer.
I know that the vitrification process has been proven scientifically, and unless there is a problem at this plant, we need to move forward with the production that people have been counting on for years. We cannot put another generation of Washingtonians or Tri-Citians or U.S. citizens leaving this kind of waste without a solution. We can't change course. We need to stay the course and get this project done.
Sheriff's deputies and other Chelan County agencies cleaned out a homeless encampment this week in a culvert on South Wenatchee Avenue, just outside the city. County codes allow authorities to give advance notice to people living unsheltered on public property and then remove their belongings if they don't vacate. The sheriff's office says one person was referred to housing assistance agencies. The culvert and nearby creek were cleaned of litter, and items and debris that weren't claimed were disposed of. Well, coming up next, the closure of Columbia Elementary School was a blow to the Wenatchee schools community. But the Valley Academy of Learning is trying to make the best of it, with parents and teachers partnering to educate kids in the former Columbia space. We'll tell you about it. And Dan Kuntz will have all your local weather details coming up. He's followed by the highly knowledgeable Eric Granstrom with tonight's sports report. The NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this break.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
School's back, but this is the kind of math we like. Over 100 slices of pepperoni, one giant Abby's pizza feeds up to 6 hungry people. That's A+ value, toppings to the edge. That's been the Abby's way since forever. Now go do your homework. When someone says, bring home the bacon, we know what they mean. They want Abby's legendary Bacon Cheddar Pizza, loaded with country bacon and packed with Canadian bacon. On sale now at abbys.com. This month, bring home the bacon at family-owned Abby's.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Students are once again roaming the halls inside the former Columbia Elementary School building. About 2/3 of the school is now dedicated to the Valley Academy of Learning, which is a parent-partnered program serving 311 students on a full or part-time basis. Before its relocation, the school had been outgrowing the space inside its former building on North Wenatchee Avenue. Earlier this year, the district officially proposed moving Valley into the Columbia site in hopes the program could grow and add grade levels. NCWLIFE spoke with Valley's Director of Programs, Shelley Jelsing, to learn about the adjustment to the new building and how the move is improving the student and staff experience.
I think for our students and our staff, it's just a larger footprint. So it has just been getting used to the idea of finding new classrooms and having 2 hallways where we really had only one large, long hallway at our previous building. So learning just the different layout of the building, that we have more bathrooms. We have 3 bathrooms here where we only had one with 2 stalls in it at our previous building. So just learning the new layout and getting to know the building. The other areas that we do have are, we have a playground and an area for recess, which is so exciting for our kids. We had to move every single classroom, get everything completely packed up and ready to go by the end of the school year last year, as well as a library that had student books, but also we have all of the parent curriculum for our program because our parents teach part of the time and we teach part of the time. And so we had to unpack all of that curriculum as well as clean out some of the other stuff that was left in the building to get it prepared for us to be here. I feel like our parking lot is very safe here compared to our parking lot there. It was an industrial building where we were, and so we had a lot of different types of traffic. But our building here has classrooms that are much larger, so we're able to move around and have just a lot more activities in our classrooms, as well as we have a music room. We have a much larger library. We have a gym. Off the library, we've made a parent-partnered room for our parents to work with their students that they're working on homeschool stuff with. When I try and explain full-time versus part-time in our world here at Valley Academy, it sounds slightly different for what someone might consider as full-time or part-time. A full-time student is equal to 28 hours on a learning plan. And when you're looking at that 28 hours, generally it looks like 12 hours of on-site classes and about 16 hours of off-site classes. Part-time would be anything less than that. So generally a student that is enrolled full-time at Valley Academy are here about an average of 2 days on-site, and the rest of their time is doing the parent-partnered piece at home. Currently, we are kindergarten through 10th grade. Generally, many of our students go to Running Start at the grades 11 and 12. I don't know that we'll be adding any more grade bands, but we'll see how this year goes and see where the district would like to lead us. This is our first year of kindergarten through 10th grade. Our 9th and 10th graders are in year 1 of our cohort and doing great. It's been an awesome year so far for them, and our teachers have really rallied around that. And I think that we're going to see some good growth in that program and make some really good academic and personal growth for our students. Valley Academy is an amazing place. We have a really awesome staff, and I'm really blessed to work here. And I'm really excited about our new building and where we're at. It's just a great place.
Happy Friday, television family. Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson for your weather forecast. This is our hose landing camera directly across the Columbia River from the Entiat Valley, and that has been the story for Entiat for the last week or so. They were in the 170s on the AQI index, the air quality index. That, of course, is unhealthy. There's just no place for the smoke to go for the Lower Sugarloaf Fire. There's very little wind. It goes up as high as the smoke can go. Smoke is heavier than air. Right back down it goes. Our friends in Entiat, you just can't catch a break, folks. And guess what? That dirty air is going to keep your temperatures considerably cooler over the weekend than the rest of the Wenatchee Valley. So our high unofficially today, 85 at Pangborn Memorial Airport. Another warm day every day this month of September, with one exception. That was Saturday the 6th. Outside of that, every day we've had our afternoon high temperature either above normal or well above normal. And we continue to lose about 3.5 minutes of daylight every day. The autumnal equinox, by the way, first day of autumn is Monday, September 22nd, if you want to put that in your calendar. Tomorrow's highs, 85 across the board. Moses Lake, Ephrata, Quincy, Wenatchee, Ellensburg. They're telling us, the National Weather Service is, and the Department of Ecology, it might not be as hazy and smoky tomorrow, with the exception of Entiat. That's why you're only going to get up to 79 degrees, but we should see some slightly better air quality for the valley tomorrow. Of course, we'll just have to see. What's going on? What's the weather maker right now? You'll see that high pressure, that little ridge of high pressure right over the north central Washington area and over the Columbia Basin. That's really not going to go anywhere. It's going to kind of just move around here and there and here and there, but it's going to be very static. And in order for that thing to get moved out of alignment and have some weather come in, some weather has to come in. And there really isn't anything until Saturday night into Sunday. Saturday, another beautiful day. You can see it move just a little bit, but that's really about it. Then we'll start seeing some clouds rolling in Saturday night. Some much beneficial rain on Sunday. Only 77 degrees. Best chance of rain on Sunday. We're not talking heavy rain, just light showers between about 2 in the afternoon till about 7 in the afternoon on Sunday. That's why we're only going to get to 77 degrees. It'll be cloudy all day Sunday. But that system that's going to bring us that little bit of rain on Sunday is going to leave the region on Monday, and guess what? That ridge of high pressure going to move right back where it was before, and that means warmer than normal temperatures. Even without the haze, this would have been one of the warmest Septembers we've had in a long time. The haze is keeping the temperatures down a little bit, but right now our normal high temperature is only 78, and by this time next week it'll be 77, but we're going to be above normal again. An extended period of warm temperatures. That high pressure ridge is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and according to all the computer models that the National Weather Service has sent to us, it could be pretty stationary for quite some time. 84 degrees for the middle of September is very, very warm. So a lot of it really depends on how much work they get done on the Lower Sugarloaf Fire. As far as smoke quality, is just too far out to tell. But if things hold true, sunny and warm really right through the broadcast period, with the exception again of Sunday. It'll be overcast. It's only a 40% chance of rain on Sunday. I wish it was 140% chance of rain, but it is what it is. And there's that high pressure ridge. Just doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. 85 today, lots of smoke, lots of haze. It tempers down tonight, 59 for the overnight low. A little less smoky and a little less hazy, we think, on Saturday. Don't hedge your bet. High again of 85 degrees. Very warm for this time of the year. Saturday night, the clouds roll in. You're going to wake up Sunday to some clouds, and you're going to go to bed Sunday with some clouds, with some late afternoon rain, about a 40% chance of that. Bring it on. The system exits Sunday night through the course of the day Monday, and we go right back to sunny and mild weather with probably some haze and smoke as we go into the middle part of next week. At your weather forecast, we have an adult portion of sports with Eric Granstrom, but don't worry, we don't check ID. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hand off to Zielinski around the right side. Got away from one man, got away from two. Squirts between High school sports is back this fall on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch Eastmont, Wenatchee, and Cashmere games right here. Coverage is brought to you in part by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Watch high school sports on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
And a happy Finally Friday to you. The Mariners have tied Houston atop the American League West with yet another walk-off win in extra innings last night. The hero this time, rookie Harry Ford, who hit a walk-off RBI sac fly in the bottom of the 12th to hand Seattle a 7-6 win, their 6th straight win, and a tie with the Astros atop the division.
Give me a sack, Harry. What did you ask for? Is it deep enough? Polanco is on his way home. Here it comes. He's saved. Harry Ford. Harry Ford. Welcome to the big leagues. The Mariners are in first place.
The win moves Seattle into a first-place tie as they prepare to face the Angels again tonight at 7:05 on Apple TV+. Astros were shut out by Toronto yesterday, 6-0. Only Washington State and Eastern Washington have college football games this weekend. Cougs play at North Texas tomorrow at 12:30 on ESPNU. Eagles still looking for the first win at Illinois tomorrow at 2 on ESPN+. Both Washington and Central Washington have byes. Seahawks face a road test in Week 2 of the NFL season in Pittsburgh. Steelers are 1-0 after an opening win with the on the road with the Jets. Seahawks, meanwhile, 0-1 after falling at home to San Francisco. Sunday's game kicks off at 10 o'clock on Fox. Wenatchee opened defense of its Big Nine volleyball title with a win over Davis last night. The Panthers held off a hard charge by the Pirates in the first set at Wenatchee High School and went on for the sweep. I had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
And the Pirates looking to take the lead here on the service by Gasling after the timeout by Wenatchee. Panthers have been kind of in scramble mode for the last several points here. Davis with the set, the kill attempt cross court. As Hull couldn't quite get all that you wanted to on it. And here is a point to Wenatchee. It'll be Barry on the service. Barry's service, back line, Davis with the return. Here's a set. Hull not quite, again, comfortable with the kill. Wenatchee then has the chance. Davis there for the counter. Another kill attempt off the mark by Cheyenne Hull will fall on the Davis side and give Wenatchee the first set here tonight. But Davis having everything to say to the opposite. Henderson again with the service, goes back line. There is the Panthers, and oh my, just a matter of luck. Ball hit and blocked and falls in and will be a point to Wenatchee. Saved by Davis. Henderson pushes it back over. Barry is there. Here's the kill attempt. It was deep, and Davis with the swipe. Now it is Stanley redirecting it. Up front it comes. Here's the kill from the back line. And oh my gosh, what a thunderous hit by Demersion. Glances off of a Pirate and out of bounds. And the Wenatchee Panthers will get the sweep here tonight.
Eastmont stumbled on the road at Eisenhower last night, falling 25-17, 15, and 20. Moses Lake swept Sunnyside. LaSalle quieted Quincy. Chelan swept Ephrata. Cashmere took down Royal in 3 sets. Tenaska topped Omak 3-1. Liberty Bell swept Cascade 3-zip, and Reardon beat Lake Roosevelt 3-0. 48 teams, including Cashmere, Manson, Pateras, Eastmont, and Wenatchee, head for the Sundome Volleyball Festival this weekend. Another action tomorrow. Brewster hosts Entiat at noon. Tenaska welcomes Davenport at 2, while Omak travels to Colville at 2:30. Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Moses Lake each earned Big Nine girls soccer wins last night. The Panthers blasted Davis 6-0. Eastmont edged Eisenhower 3-2. Moses Lake got by Sunnyside 3-2. Other action saw Quincy blank Brewster. Cashmere topped Royal. Cascade belted Liberty Bell. Omak edged Chelan, and Bridgeport beat Lake Roosevelt 3-2. Busy Saturday schedule has Cascade at Omak tomorrow morning at 11, while Chelan is hosting Bush. Brewster welcomes Lakeside 9 Mile Falls. Davenport visits Tenaska. Liberty Bell hosts Lake Roosevelt, and Pateras is in Manson. Couple of games kick at noon with East Valley at Ephrata, while Quincy hosts Othello. Eastmont's on the road at Ridgeline at 1 o'clock. Wenatchee plays Meade at 3, while Cashmere faces College Place in Royal. Well, week 2 of the prep football season, and actually week 1 for Eastmont. They had their game last week against Bonnie Lake canceled because of smoke. Defensive tackle Tyson Gonzalez and Coach Jay Foster admit that it was a big letdown.
It was pretty hard on us. We prepared all week and we were ready to play them, and it just, I was ready to play and just couldn't play at the last second, so it was pretty frustrating. We didn't do anything for the rest of the weekend. I think we just all were upset and just decided to put in the past.
The kids worked hard all week. You're preparing. You're trying to get ready. You feel good. You've set yourself up, and then you're getting yourself emotionally ready, and then that letdown's kind of a bummer. The kids wanted to play. We wanted to try to go there, and they couldn't make it work. And up and down the valley last week was just a mess. So it is what it is. We move on. We talk to the kids about that. The thing that you lose is that first game experience. And that's something that we'll find out when we line up here against Post Falls.
Eastmont's on the road to take on Post Falls tonight, a team that already has 2 games in the books. Coach Foster says the Bulldogs are a similar team that beat the Wildcats last season.
The things that they do, I expect them to do again. They'll take their shots when they think they got the opportunity. But they're a running team at heart.
Wenatchee, meanwhile, is flying high after a 23-13 win in Week 1 over Lake City. Coach Taylor Mitchell says the Panthers were very adept at changing on the fly to earn the win.
Proud of the way our kids, though, stayed focused through it all. We went to bed Friday night. 7 a.m. We told the kids, you're at the high school 7 a.m. We'll make the call. We're either loading up on a bus or you're going to go home, rest up, and we have a 7 p.m. game at home. So proud of the way that the kids responded.
While most of the Panthers were focusing on football, two-way senior starter John Gutzweiler says he also had his hands full with a pig.
That went really well, actually. I sold it for $10 a pound. Thursday I had a market class show. Friday I had fitting and showing. And then Saturday was the auction. I had to hand it off to another kid so he could sell my pig.
Did you name your pig?
I named him Tim.
Why Tim?
Well, it was a filler spot when I was sending out letters to companies to ask for a buyer. I wrote it down on my phone. I just put in first name I could think of. And then I had a pen, I was writing out my letter, and I just wrote down Tim, and I thought I'd just stick with that.
Wenatchee's on the road tonight to face Mount Si. Coach Mitchell says he's looked long and hard at last year's film.
A year ago, watching the game, we had some first half turnovers. We kind of got down big early. Came back late in the fourth quarter, made it a 2-possession football game, had the ball. We're trying to go down there and make it a 1-possession game. But turnovers early in the game made a difference, I think. And I'll wear some of that as being the head coach, calling the offensive plays, put ourselves in a bad position in the first half.
Other Big 9 play tonight. West Valley visits Lakeland. Davis hosts Sandpoint, while Sunnyside visits Coeur d'Alene. Tomorrow finds Mount Rainier at Eisenhower at 1. Moses Lake has a 3 o'clock kickoff at North Creek. Well, following last week's big win over Wapato, Kashmir stays on the road tonight to County Benton. Royal visits College Place. Natchez Valley hosts Zilla, while Luke is at Wapato. Othello plays at Connell. The CWAC schedule features the Battle of the Basin in Quincy, where the Jackrabbits host Ephrata. East Valley visits Grandview. Sela plays at Ellensburg, and Prosser hosts Toppenish. Cascades on the west side at Coopville tonight. Omak is hosting Meridian. Brewster visits Chelan. The B schedule finds Manson at Lynn Ritzville Sprague at 6. 7 o'clock kickoffs have Liberty Bell at Okanagan. Chelan hosts Brewster. Lake Roosevelt rolls to Reardon. Bridgeport hosts Tico Rosalia. St. John Endicott Lacrosse travels to Soap Lake. Waterville Mansfield hosts Odessa. Entiat is at DeSales. Moses Lake Christian hosts Yakima Tribal. Wenatchee Wild wrap up the preseason with a couple of road games this weekend. They'll play tomorrow at Portland at 2:30 and then Tri-City Sunday at 2. Regular season set to start for the Wild a week from tomorrow at Everett. They'll have their home opener on September 27th, also against the Silver Tips. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. For much more, head to our website for Sports Extended. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Another work week comes to an end. Thanks for watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. You can find us on our website, ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Just download the NCWLIFE app to your devices. Share the news with your friends and family. You can email us with news tips anytime at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Grant Olson will be back in this chair on Monday. Have a great weekend.